The Skill Lab workshop is going to be estimated about 30-35 minutes with instruction, and then another 40 minutes of application, and then another 20 minutes of question and answer. So to get you all prepared, we have created a Panopto, a Canvas course with Panopto videos and things like that, so you all can practice the skill you learn in that class. And in addition, you're going to also need a previous or a current course class. But right now, you should be good for the beginning with this Canvas class. And if you do not see yourself enrolled in the Canvas class that we have created for you, don't worry, we'll be sure to enroll you in there before the application part starts. So for today's City Lab skills, we have 3 presenters. I am one, Emily is one, and Daniel is one. So we're gonna practice breakout sections so that everyone can go and practice the skill that you learn. So first with introductions, we're gonna start off with Daniel, then Emily, and then myself. Go ahead, Daniel.
Hi, I'm Daniel Martin. I am the instructional technologist with City Lab. Been here about 2 months.
Hi, I'm Emily Rush. I'm an instructional designer, and I've been with Rush for just a little over a year.
And of course, my name is Lynette Washington, and I am joining the other instructional designer, Emily. And I have been here since 2014, so going on 9 years. And I love my job, by the way. So today's skill lab, we're going to talk about our objectives. By the time you leave this course, you should be able to move and copy your Panopto video to your Canvas course folder. You should be able to add quiz questions to your Panopto video, as well as add a video assignment that registers to your gradebook. Also, Emily is going to talk about adding captures to a recording as well as trimming a recording. So what are the concepts of definitions of Panopto? Well, Panopto is a lecture capturing tool, and it's basically used to capture discussions, classroom discussions, videos, presentation, the classroom, whether it's virtual or face-to-face. And we like to use Panopto to take audio presentations, visuals, videos, as well as to share the instructor video of a physical or the virtual classroom. So that's why we use Panopto. That's what it's defined as. So the audio lectures are usually, capture all the class discussions. We definitely need that. Daniel's up next.
All right. So the first thing you want to do is have the video that you're going to be working with. And so what I want to show you is how to take that video and move it to where you need it to be to work on. So your first step is going to be to locate the video. I'll show you how to determine if you want to copy that video or move it, which is kind of a question that comes up. And then finally, I'll show you how to do the move itself. All right, so the next slide. All right, so where's your recording? The recording is either going to be in it could be in the course folder, or it could be in your personal folder. And so what I want to show you is, let's say you have a recording that you've already made, or even if it's the recording you made for this course, you'll want to go to the course where you know the recording is and select the Panopto video option there. So let's say, for example, this course is the course where you're going to be adding the interaction. Then there's no copying needed. Of course, you've got the video where you need it to be. But let's say the video is located in a previous course. Then what you would want to do is navigate to that previous course and begin the process of copying. Okay, there's that. Then alternatively, perhaps you've got the video sitting in your own. All right, so perhaps you've got the video located in Panopto inside of your personal folder. Some instructors will actually produce their videos and keep kind of a personal archive in Panopto. That's another place where those could be located at. If the video is located in a previous course, then what you're going to want to do is go ahead and move that video. Now, in order to do that, the best way to do that is to go through Panopto. All right, so we're in the Panopto video section of your Canvas course. What we'll do now, to copy or move, if your video is located in a previous course, let's say the same course you offered last spring, then chances are what you're going to want to do is copy that video rather than move it. You want to keep that previous Canvas course intact, right? So what we'll do now is, let's say we're in the previous Canvas course. We'll go to the Panopto video section, and we'll go ahead and we'll click on this button. Maybe some of you have not noticed this, but if you click on this link, it will take you over to what we call the Panopto portal. The reason we want to go to the Panopto portal is here's where you get the tools to move things around. All right. Now, similarly, if you have the original video located in your personal folder in Panopto, it's the same thing as far as how do you get to that portal. So let's say now we're going to copy this video. I'm going to go ahead and click on the video itself. There's a check mark here. And then when I click on that, I'm going to get some tools up here: delete, copy, move, share. Now in this case, I want to make a copy of this video and put it into my current course. So I'll select copy. And from here, I'll be able to search for the course I want to go to. In this case, I know I want to go to Panopto, Interactions. There we go. And it comes up. And then I'll select copy. And once it's done, I can go ahead and close this window out. So now that video is over where it needs to be. And if I refresh, I'm back in the Panopto Interactions course. I'll come back over to Panopto Video. And what we should see here is that video has copied over. So now you've copied that video over to your new course, and you can begin the next step, which is adding the interactions.
So next, I will go ahead and talk about adding quiz question to your Panopto video, the main topic of the workshop. So basically, did you know, a lot of people didn't know that you can add interactive quizzing to your Panopto video, and you can insert as little and as many questions, quiz questions into your Panopto video as you want. So why do we want to add interactivity or basically quiz questioning to your Panopto video? Well, a couple of reasons why we want to. We want to access the student comprehensive. We also want to support as we reinforce key concepts in your course, and we want to increase engagement with videos at a point during the presentation. And another benefit that one of my coworkers mentioned, he said it reinforces the reading when they have quiz questions put inside the Panopto. Not only when you put a Panopto quiz in there, we wanted to register for the gradebook. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute, and I'm going to go to a course. And, you know, this is always tricky when you go into a live course to try to do some transactions. So I am also in the course that Daniel was in the Panopto interaction, which you all should have access to. And again, if you don't, we'll make sure you get access before the application part comes. So first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on Panopto video. We're already there, but I'm just going to click on it to make sure you know the steps. And so with this, if you don't also have your Panopto video on your menu when you start your class, we can also show you how to do that. Doing the application part. And we also have instructions in this course. When you click on modules, you'll see a lot of our tutorials in this course. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use, should I say, this number 13, since we have quite a few of them. So you want to go to your Panopto video and you want to start to edit. So if you hover over in this area, you'll go ahead and click the edit button to open up the video editor, and it opens it in a new screen. And so once you get here, your Panopto video is open. So you must already have a Panopto video. And so now we'll go ahead and we'll begin to add questions. So you can add questions anywhere in your Panopto video. Like I said, as many or as few as you want. And you can do that by one of two ways. You can click on the play button so that you can pick the timeline and then pause it where you want to add the quiz questions. Or you can manually use the timeline to navigate over to the section you want to add the video. So I can manually use it, and the little red line down here on the timeline shows you where you are going to add your quiz question. You can move it all around and you can change it even after you recorded it. You can change it. So once you've determined where you want to put your quiz question, you can just go ahead and click the plus button to add content. And as you can see, you can add several things. But since this workshop is focused on adding a quiz, we're going to go ahead and click add a quiz. So the first thing you want to do is you want to add the quiz name. And I got a couple of things here on my other screen here, so I won't have to type it in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in a quiz name. You can name it what you want to name. If you're going to have multiple questions, I just put, question 1, question 2. But if you're going to have, I'm only putting one question, but if you're going to have multiple questions, you can just name it quiz 1. But it's totally up to you because the name in your grade book would be different. It can be different, should I say. Then, so as I name the quiz, I want to go ahead and drop the question in. What type of questions can you add in a Panopto video quiz? And actually you can select this to find out what type of questions. So we can add true and false, multiple choice, multiple select, and fill in the blank. I am going to choose multiple select for this particular question right here. And then I'm going to start filling in the answers. And if you have more than 2 answers, you just go ahead and click the add answer button and it'll add another answer. And I've noticed that the first time I click that, it doesn't add one, but when I click it again, it adds it with no problem. And once I add it, I don't have to do it again. Like I'm going to add another one. And now it just asks them with no problem. And then I'm going to add one more just for fun. And you notice you want to go ahead and select all the correct answer because this one is a multiple select answer. And if you decide you don't want to add all these questions, you could just click the X button to delete any of them. So I'm going to go ahead and click the check box, and depending on what type of questions you have, the check, like I think in multiple choice, you have bubbles versus check boxes. Then if you wanted to add an answer explanation, when they get the correct answer, you can go ahead and do that, but that is also optional. And once you filled out everything, you got your question just right, you got your explanation in, you can add more questions. So if I had 3 questions, I'll go ahead and add them. But for this demonstration and due to time constraints, we're just going to add 1. So I'm going to go ahead and click the done button. And then once I've clicked the done button, it takes you to the settings area. So the quiz position lets you know what position the quiz will show in your Panopto video. Then you can change this. You can type on that and you can change the spot where it goes. You can also decide what you want viewers to see after they have completed the quiz in the video. Do you want them allowed to retake this quiz? This is the low assessment formative. I go ahead and I usually give them unlimited attempts and let them take it as many times as they want. You can let them see the grade after this quiz. So if they're not happy with their grade, or maybe you want them to get 100% of the quiz because they know all the answers in and they know the reading. I do desire that in one of my courses that I designed. They have to get 100%, so they make them take it over and over again until they get 100%. So if they pay attention the first time, they don't have to take it once. So do you want the learners to review the correct answers and the explanation? That's optional again, but absolutely I would. And this block advancing in the video into answering this quiz, I do set that in one of my courses also that I'm a TA, and I block the advancing so that they cannot go and see the rest of the material. So if I had several questions in this video quizzing, they will all be listed here. So because I only have one, that's all you see. And if I had 3 or 4, I could reorder them by moving the questions up and down. Or if I decided I got too many and I want to delete one, I'll just press the X and delete the question from the quiz. So when you're done, all you have to do now is press finish. And when you press finish adding that quiz question there, it's going to take you back to the point where you left off in that video where I had edited. So it goes back to the rest of the video. And you can actually see that I added the quiz question at section 54. You see, because I named the question 1. So you see where the quiz is at to go ahead and you know for sure you made it for sure. So that's how you make a quiz question in your Panopto video. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Panopto Interactions course. And in this course, because not only do we have to add the questions to the Panopto video, we also have to make an assignment to make it register to the gradebook. So that's 2 steps, unfortunately, and I did have that on my slide sheet there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on assignments. And actually, you're making this assignment pretty much just like you would make any assignments in your regular Canvas course. And then you want to go ahead and you want to click on the plus assignment button. And it takes a few minutes. So then you want to go ahead and you want to give your assignment a name. And again, this is where it differs, or it could be the same for the name you gave it in the Panopto video, because this is step 2, you're giving it a name. So you can choose to give it the same name, or you could choose to give it a different name. So there's my name. And then you go ahead and type in any detailed description, and you fill in the assignments like you would normally fill in wherever you want the points to be, and this is all regular. So one of the main things here that you got to make sure you check in adding this Panopto video assignment, you got to make sure in the submission type that you click on external tool. And now that I click external tool, I have to let Canvas know which external tool I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and click on find. And I'm going to stroll through my tools. And then I'm going to click Panopto video, because that's the tool I want to add. And it takes a minute, but it's going to load all the videos I have in this course. And so it's going to give me a choice of which video I have to add in this course. And since I put that quiz in video 13, that's the one that I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the radio button, and then I'm going to press insert. And then once I press insert, I'm going to do select. And everything else is regular settings. And once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and save and publish. And then it's going to go ahead and load my Panopto video. I asked it to load it in a different screen, so it's definitely in a different screen. Oh, and I think I need to go back for a minute because maybe I forgot something that was really important. I know I did. So in my Panopto video, when I finished adding my quiz and it came back, so don't do what I did, you actually have to hit apply, because if you don't hit apply, your quiz is in vain. It's just like not saving in Canvas, and you go back and say, I know I put that in there. So let me hit apply, and it'll give you a message, a confirmation letting you know that changes are applied to the video. Go ahead and close the editor. Whew, glad I remembered that. So anyway, that's how you add a Panopto video. That's how you add, and I'm going to go back and shut that off again because it goes back to the spot. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to this next screen just to show you how it looks for the learners. What should I say? So when they take the quiz, this is the question I added. They have the option of doing previous, and when they're finished answering the question, they're going to go ahead and click finish. Then after they finish, it's going to tell them how many questions they got right. So if it was 3 questions, it'll say 1 out of 2, 2 out of 3. And then because the settings I set, the students will get a choice to retake the quiz down there, or to review the answers they got or the questions that they want to review it again. Or thirdly, they could continue on, and that means continue on with the Panopto video, so going next to the next part of the material. So that's how you add the Panopto quiz and add it to assignment in your Canvas course. You're up, Emily.
All right, so today I'm going to be discussing how to add and edit captions, and then also how to trim videos. And I'm going to start by saying a few things about each skill, and then I'll demonstrate it. So beginning with captions, one of the many great features of Panopto is that it offers machine-generated captions, which is also known as ASR, or automatic speech recognition. In terms of ASR, it's important to note that it's about 70 to 75% accurate, and the accuracy will vary according to things like audio quality, the rate of your speech, and sometimes I get really excited and speak quickly, and Panopto doesn't always like to keep up with that. Also, things like the use of technical language can bog Panopto a little bit, but it's still an amazing tool. The thing to keep in mind about the captions that I'll talk about is that they're a really good start for creating closed captions, but you always need to review the captions for accuracy. And in terms of why you want to use them, they're useful for increasing accessibility, and more learners today also prefer to have captions on when viewing recording. All right, so now we're going to talk about trimming a little bit. This is something you might want to do, for example, if you start recording a lecture or a course session, and maybe you want to trim a little bit of the beginning before the actual event commences, or maybe you recorded a little bit too long at the end and you want to cut that off. So trimming, it sounds maybe a little bit intimidating, but Panopto makes it very user-friendly. One thing that I want to stress is that part of what Panopto does is it always keeps the trim sections so that they're available to you as the editor, but they're not visible to the viewers. So it's non-destructive editing. So in a way, you really can't mess it up, which is great. So now that I've talked a little bit about what these skills are, I'd like to briefly demonstrate how to do them. So let me screen share. All right, and hopefully you can all see my Canvas sandbox. Okay, and we're going to start with captions. And in order to start importing and editing captions in Canvas, what I like to do is to go to the site where my recordings reside. So right now I'm in my sandbox site, and then I want to select Panopto video from the course navigation menu, which is the second column from the left. From there, I'll find the video that I want to edit. So right now I'm going to work on sample recording. And when I hover over that or next to it, there's an edit option. So I'm going to select that edit option. And now we're working in Panopto. So the next thing I want to do is in this Panopto menu on the left, select captions. I've already imported mine because it does take a few minutes to process, and I didn't want you to have to, twiddle your thumbs while I wait for that to happen. But if they weren't there, what I would do is select captions and then go to import captions at the top portion of the page and select import automatic captions if captions don't exist. Or if they already exist, you can select replace with automatic caption. And as I said, it will take a few minutes to process, but what will happen is it will populate with a sort of a transcript of your lecture or recording. And that's the first part of this. The second thing we want to do is review the captions for accuracy. And I noticed that in a very dismaying turn of events, Panopto did not get my name correct. So I'm just going to enter into that field just like I would with a Word document. And I can very easily make any changes. And I would just continue reviewing each time segment, just like your proofreading document, until I'm satisfied with the results. When I'm all happy with the content of my captions, I will select apply, just like Lynette reminded us to do. All right, it looks like it didn't take, but now it's, there we go. And Panopto will usually take a minute to process it. Once it's processed your changes, it will open up in a new window just like this. And so it's actually that straightforward to import your captions and to edit them. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to trim recording. And so we'll want to follow a similar process. We'll go to our Canvas site if we're using a video on a Canvas site. So select Panopto video, find the video that you want to trim and select edit. And what happens when we're in this edit menu? It's the same as we saw before, but we'll want to focus on a few different features. The first is that the main portion of the video, which reflects what the viewer would see, is in this upper portion, whereas below the video is the timeline. And it's the timeline that will help us in terms of editing the video. And so in this case, let's say I want to edit out the preamble, the beginning of this presentation. What I like to do is to press play. And I'm going to fast forward a teeny bit. And we'll notice that as it's playing, we see this red line that's moving that shows the progress on the timeline. Okay. We'll back it up just a second. And it's not an exact science, but it's very doable. So let's say we stop the recording where I want the new video to commence. What we're going to do next is, well, let me get rid of this. I like to go to the far left of the timeline. And if we start dragging, we'll see there's a light gray bar. It's called the edit handle. And the gray area represents what will be trimmed once you make the cut in your video. So I'm going to drag it to where I want to start. You can also use the scissor tools, and that will help you do the same thing. So drag out and gray out the area that you don't want to see. And even though it's non-destructive, what I like to do is just, I'll move the start for a second and press play. Press play, there we go. And we see it will start exactly where I want it to start. But once I'm confident that I've cut the portion that I want to, I'm going to apply changes. And it's going to ask me to verify that. And again, we'll keep in mind that even if you allegedly, if you cut the video, that it's not lost forever. We can always find it. All right, so now that we've demonstrated these different skills, what we're going to do is move into the lab portion of today's workshop. And what we ask you to do is to pick one of the focus topics that we discussed. So for example, moving or copying recordings, that will be room 1 with Daniel. Room 2 will be adding a quiz question or quiz questions to your recording. You'll be working with Lynette. Or if you'd like to add captions or trim videos, you'll be working in room 3 with me. So we'll make those rooms available in just a second. And when the rooms come available, you are at your liberty to choose which room you want to go to. And then we will reconvene in 35 to 40 minutes.
Yep,
So
that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Can we move? I have a question. Can we move from one room to the next when we're finished with one room?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
And by the way, that Panopto interaction class, do you see, if you're in there, you should all be in there. If not, we'll drop you in there right now. You can all work in that course to copy, and when you move, you can move it to one of your courses, but you can work in that course, and everyone should have a video with their names on it, or we'll make sure we put one on it if it doesn't.
So in the slide deck for the presentation, you can find access to like Panopto Video Library, and if you go ahead and click on that, it's going to get you over to the Panopto Video Library, and you can find really much of what we went over today. And since you're here, Sharon, just really quickly, is when you're inside of a Canvas course, and I've got performance anxiety or something. Okay, so now are you able to see from within any Canvas course, if you go to the Panopto video section, you'll also find up here in the top right-hand corner, you can go to online documentation, and that's also going to take you to the fairly comprehensive Panopto library, including video tutorials, and you can search from there. Yeah, so that's that. Am I sharing that screen? Are you seeing that?
Yes, we see the video tutorials, yes.
Just
And
been
now you're back at the City Labs.
Okay, excellent. And then last but not least, we would really like to get your feedback on the course. And so go ahead and use this link to fill out our evaluation form to let us know what you think. That's in the slide deck, and I also think we're going to be sending that out in the chat as well. Yeah, that's basically that.
And we'll also send a follow-up email with
Okay.
a link to the recording resources, and we'll send that link again.